Mark, a week to work with the team and reflect. How's the week gone?
As usual, we train well. They train well. It's on the back of the defeat on Saturday and everything sort of around you is doom and gloom. It isn't that. It's like you get in, you sort of shake things off. We look back at what happened and what we maybe could have done better. We were in that game. Don't think we deserved to lose that game, and could and should have had 3 points from it with the chances that we had. So whilst you're not fluid or free flowing or any of those, that they weren't either. They looked like they have a settled squad, a settled way of doing things, and I thought we coped with that. Apart from two moments down the side that ended up costing us goals when the ball came into our penalty area that we didn't deal with very well. So new players settling in. Obviously there's an understanding of how we do things and what needs to happen in given situations, but new players, and we're getting used to them, they're getting used to us. But yeah, we move on, look forward, and we've now got a really good game at Southampton.
How long typically, or is there no time scale you can put it on for things to start to click, those new players to get that understanding, for things to start to settle and you to get a bit of a pattern in your game?
Well, it's the same. It's the same. You've got a squad. There will be a way of getting players in the positions that they're really comfortable with, and that takes a little bit of time as well. So interesting chats, interesting conversations. When the work's getting done, things are sort of dripped in. You can see things happening in training that might mean certain differences to where people want to be or feel most comfortable on a football pitch, where those partnerships start to be formed, and that's an interesting part of things as well. But in the meantime, we've got a game to prepare and look forward to, which is what we've been trying to do this week, and we've still got a couple of days left to finalise those plans before we travel down to the south coast.
Yeah, long trip that, but a very memorable trip last season. What are you, when you look back on that and how that game maybe impacted the start to the season that you had? What were your thoughts on that?
We'd already won 2 games, so the first 2 games were in the bag, and we went down and acquitted ourselves really well. I thought that they're a good side, good players, and that was obviously proven last season and where they finished. Obviously, we won't speak about what happened after that, but there is a good core of players there that have been together for a while, and they've added 2. So. We've gone down there with obviously some changes of our own last season, and we went down and we played in a way that we ended up getting to a 2-goal lead, knowing that they were going to put us under a lot of pressure, having lost Divine Mabama to a red card, and we were down at 10 men for a period in the game. They got a goal back from a corner, and we. I wouldn't say we held on, but we managed to get the 3 points, which was a massive 3 points for us. So the first 3 games last season were really hard fought. Obviously Derby at home, Sheffield Wednesday away, and then Southampton away were. It was a difficult start, 3 difficult games, but we managed to come out on top in all of those. So yeah, we look forward to it, and obviously each season is different, but we go down with the same aim. I think that's a great place to go and play your football, and we look forward to it. There's no doubt about that.
There'll be still quite a few members of the squad that will remember that as well. There'll be some confidence, I'm sure, they will take from what they did there last season going into the weekend's game.
Well, the confidence comes obviously on the back of what we're doing. You can have good memories of places, and yeah, you can glean something from that, and if you can do that, then brilliant. It's what we do now. It's what we do moving forwards that matters this season. I think the fact that you've been to somewhere and taken the points is a good experience to have had. in the past, they'll be up for it. They'll be, like I say, they've got some good players in there. We've got to make sure that we're bang at it. I remember the 2-0 defeat at home as well. So that was something where we could learn, and hopefully we can get down there and acquit ourselves really well. I think last season we ended up without the ball so much. So can we have the ball a little bit more, which then will impact the game in a positive way for ourselves?
And obviously the result on the opening day wasn't quite what you wanted, but when you've had that another week to work with the squad and the players, do you see the potential that they've got and what they can potentially go on and do this season?
Undoubtedly, yeah. I think I said to you, I think at the start, you look at the teams and how they've built and what they've done and how they've added and the quality of the players that are in this division. It gets stronger each season. This season's a very, very strong league division, so we are aware of that. But it was a great challenge. So always a great challenge, the Championship, and normally anybody can beat anybody on the day, and you've just got to get to that point. I think the players believe. You just spoken to Victor. The players believe, and that is always a good starting point. What I'm looking for is that understanding and the ability to go and carry out and execute plans that mean that you're going to win football matches more often than you don't. So that is the work that you have to do to get to that point. But there, again, you talk about they're a good set, but not everything can always be rosy, because you can fierce competitors, and you have to be a competitor, and you have to be in a noughty mood from time to time, so you can go and win games of football. You can't just be nicey all the time. It's a really competitive environment. And
was that the importance of this transfer window over the summer, is to get those competitors through the door, get more of them into your squad?
I think that we've got to. I think with a situation, a profile of player, yes, you've got to try and aspire to that. But we've got a lot of players in the dressing room from last season, and that that experience from last season, which was really positive at the start, and then fell away because of whatever. We've spoken about that enough. But that can make you angry, and should make you angry, about not letting that happen again. So do your work, make sure that we're doing that together, and whatever we do it together, and be really positive about that. That's where we've got to get to, as much as anything else, because we want to play nice football. Of course you do. You've got to go and grind out results at times, and that's something that we need to get to. That is what we need to get to. You've got spells in games where you come under pressure and whatever. It's not about anything other than knuckling down. Communication is always an issue, because everybody's on the mobile phones nowadays, and that is something that's going out of society, I think. But this is obviously a chance for us to hone our skills in communication in these moments. So players doing that with you guys is generally a godsend, and you want them to be able to communicate. Vic's really good at it, and we've got to make sure that we're at it with everybody, and we're all together, and the game is very, very simple. You can help each other an enormous amount by just communicating that on the football pitch. We've not been brilliant at that, but I don't see that many teams nowadays are. It's just reactive a lot of the time.
And are there things you can do that, I don't know, things you can trial out to help with that communication? Because as you say, we live in a society where we're on mobile phones. I'm as guilty as it is probably everyone else in this room. So is there things that you can do to kind of mitigate that?
Don't use your phone and speak to each other.
That's it. That's literally
what
the
else
rules.
is there?
That's the rules around the training ground.
What else is there? Absolutely not. They're adults. So, but you encourage that, and like you say, if you do that, it's like you've had your arm cut off. Did it with my grandchildren a few weeks ago. And said, just leave your phones here for a second. It was like, you're asking them to amputate one of the limbs, but when they came back, they were talking. And they joined in conversation, and it's amazing, put your phone down, put your technology down, start having a conversation with each other, and then let's see if we can be in better moods.
I'm sure there'll be quite a few fans on their phones on the way down to Southampton. It's a long trip for them, but you'll be well backed.
Yeah, always, absolutely always. So look forward to seeing them all down at St Mary's. Yes, Pete.
Yeah, it'll be interesting going up against Divine Mibama. How do you reflect on his season at Stoke? And I guess those first loans are always come with difficulties, as well as seeing a glimpse of his potential.
Yeah, I think obviously he came and he had his experience here last season. I thought he started off brilliantly. I thought he was full of energy. He was somebody who contributed greatly in the first part of the season. And as is always the case with players, we wanted him to take part and lead that line in his first loan away from Manchester City. And sometimes it becomes difficult because you get to a point where things maybe, you've not scored as many goals as you want to score, or things haven't gone your way quite as much as you thought they might or wanted them to. And that's something that you'd have to ask Divine about. But I thought he was really good that first part of the season, and then he needed to maybe come out of the team just to recharge and refresh, and I couldn't do that. I didn't have that luxury at that point, which would maybe have freshened him up to go again. And then he ended up getting injured at the time when I'm thinking he really needs to come out of the team just for a reset. And really that was the end of that loan. He managed to get back at the end of the season, but we'd moved on. We'd obviously signed new forward with Milan coming in at that point, and I had to give him opportunity. I had to give them opportunity, and unfortunately that he didn't get as much time after he came back as we all would have liked or would have anticipated in the initial phase. But good player, really good kid, and I wish him all the best after Saturday.
Yeah, it seems like a good move for him. How's Boston after last week?
Boston is actually okay. It's not. It's definitely not as bad as may have feared. He's not far away at all.
Okay, but he won't be available for this weekend.
I don't know yet. We've got to wait and see. He could be available for this weekend. As
a sort of a double question, in kind of as a manager and as a former striker, what is it that you like about George?
George is somebody who's got really good experiences, both in promotion, League One. He sort of moved forward, and his career started to move when he went to Portsmouth on loan, and he started to have a really productive spell. So once he'd finished there, he then went on to Ipswich and started. I mean, within that group of players with Kieran, they got him playing, and when you come up against him, you can see what he's got in his game and how his game had developed, and obviously the players around him. Really simplified. He is somebody who is a workaholic. He's somebody who wants to work. So from that perspective, he fits the profile that we need and we want here. So he'll work hard, but not only that, he's got some quality. Now, the amount of goals he's scored can improve. There's no doubt about that. So we'll look at that. But ultimately, he can bring his game. I need to let him settle in, and then bring his game and see where we see what we need to do, see what work we need to do. But you just come. I want him to be free, and I don't want to sort of start doing anything until he has got his feet under the table, and he can try and get his first goal as quickly as he possibly can do. Try and get his first win as quickly as he possibly can, and then we can start to look at things. But then you've got a pool of three strikers plus Lamine, who can be a striker plus other positions. So it looks a little bit better. And again, the good thing is there is improvement there. So in the first instance, he's had Premier League experience as well as Championship experience, and obviously the experience he had in the promotion from League One to the Championship, and then from the Championship on 2 occasions into the Premier League.
I'd imagine there'd been quite a bit of interest in him as well, given his experience and his ability. So that must be good that he's seen the project that we're trying to do here at Stoke, and he's come and opted to join you.
I think that's fantastic. I also know that, having spoken with him, I know that he's a really good character and somebody who wants to get. I mean, obviously he's had promotions. He knows what it takes. He knows what he's been in a dressing room what it looks like to have that ability to get promoted from this division. So he's got an understanding. He can bring that as well as what he brings on the pitch. But we'll be really pleased once that gets over the line.
When you look at George Hirst as a new signing, you as a former striker forward.
Was I? I think so. Such a long time ago.
Well, I can just about remember. But you as that player, when you sit and talk to him, does that help? Because you've been there, you've understood it, you know what's going on.
I need to remind you who his dad is. And I think that David Hurst was an absolute top centre forward. So if I'm him, I know that I've got somebody to go and speak to. In fact, I've spoken to George about that. But he's somebody that obviously has been brought up with football in his DNA. So it's an interesting one, a really interesting one. I'm looking forward to working with him.
David Hurst was a class player, but sometimes people don't always listen to their dads. They listen to other people. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, you're right. They get to 13 and then you think you know nothing. So yeah, but he's a level-headed young man, and when you speak to him, you'll find that, and he will take things on board for him to improve his game, I'm sure.
Lastly, from me, what are the standout qualities in him that you have seen that made you want him to come to here?
Well, he has, like I said, he's got a real work ethic for us, and developing a profile for somebody who can come in and perform for our supporters, to improve our circumstances is really important. But he's got a real good work ethic. He will run, he will work, and it'll be relentless. So not only that, you can see bits in his game that are perfect for us. So I think he's got a better rounded game. He's not just one element to it. He's got different facets to it, and hopefully we can build on that.